what we know is that a Lenovo ThinkPad T14 Gen 3 has been sold, not one but two. What we also know is that one of the buyers paid 504 euros and 38 cents, and the other buyer did pay 647 euros and 52 cents. And the buyer that paid 504 euros 38 cents actually wants the laptop shipped all the way to Finland. And just to put it in context, I am in Germany, so in a matter of days, this laptop is going to be sent out and it's going to be arriving at its new home, while the other laptop actually did sell for more because the laptop does have a higher capacity of storage. As a matter of fact, it has a 1 terabyte of NVMe SSD installed on it. This will be staying here in Germany. Pretty much decent laptop. These are the things that we know. And one other thing that we know before we're going to be moving to how that affects you is that the market is slowly recovering. See, last week was all holiday, and even a week leading to the Christmas holiday, pretty much a lot of organizations were closing up. They have this thing we call end of year holiday. A lot of companies tend to want to go on holiday when it's just about 22nd, 23rd of December, and they want to close for the year until the 6th of January. So this is pretty much what we know, that companies did close and gradually they are beginning to come back to action. The fact that these two transactions have gone through tells me a lot that, look, people are beginning to return back to work. Today is the 6th of January. It's a Tuesday. Because of that, people are beginning to return back and suddenly realize that, look, I do not have a functional laptop. My desktop is pretty much not what I want to use this year. Last year, I had a lot of problems with it. This time around, I want to go ahead and shop for something decent. And this is the reason why you are already seeing people waking up, going on to eBay and some of the other big marketplaces to go to look for decent hardwares. And two of these guys have seen these laptops, and this was pretty much an offer that I set up a few days ago. So what does that have to do with you? You see, that has everything to do with the steps that you are going to be taking forward. You see, if you want to win in this business, this is the best time to actually go ahead and attack. Just a few days ago, I did go ahead to make, set up these offers, and I pretty much did it live here on YouTube. I was telling you guys the thinking behind my setting up this offer, because I understand this game already. I understand that the first week of the new year is always a time where people want to take action. Companies want to go ahead and empower their staff. They want to give their staff the best hardware to be productive. They want to solve any IT related problem that they had in the previous year. And one thing a lot of people want to do is they want to go ahead and upgrade their systems, and upgrade their keyboards, their mouse, their monitors, in some cases their laptops, their desktop PCs. I already understand this, and this doesn't just affect companies, also affect private individuals. If you have had a very difficult time last year troubleshooting your PC, troubleshooting your laptop, it is pretty much not what you want to do this year. Some people want to say that, look, in the new year, I'm going to start out with a very decent device. For example, Lenovo ThinkPad T14 Gen 3, one beautiful device that people tend to want to buy a lot. It's a business laptop, and organizations need this, private individuals need this, even students need this, because this is one versatile laptop you can easily put in your bag. Not so expensive when you compare the power it has and how much you are actually paying for it, and especially when you go ahead and even compare it with new devices of similar configurations, you are pretty much going to understand that this is actually a very, very cheap laptop. So people are buying these things, organizations are coming back. That means this is your time to actually go ahead and attack. If you want to win, like I said, you're not going to wait until the competition has taken over the market. You're going to be doing what the competition is doing, which is pretty much listing items on the platform, say eBay, which is what I pretty much recommend for you if you want to do this model of business. But depending on what kind of items you sell, Facebook Marketplace might be your natural habitat, whatnot might be where things are happening for you. But if you are looking at selling used IT, laptop, desktop PCs, you are better off, doing it on eBay. So you want to be doing what the competition is doing, which is listing items, taking a look at what sells and going ahead to replicate the offers that have been proven to sell for other people. You see, failure to do this will only mean one thing: you are actually setting up yourself not to win. I was making this offer a few days ago, showing you guys exactly what I was thinking, why setting it up. I knew that this was, first of all, a laptop that sells, because I took a look at the the eBay platform. I kind of understood the trend that people want decent pieces. They want business laptops, 14 inches laptops. They want laptops in this particular, shape, this particular form, this particular color. So I didn't hesitate to go ahead to set up my own offer. Of course, I didn't bring it from the sky. I also got this information from this platform, on which I said this is one of the beautiful things about most of the platforms. You're going to be given, a behind the scene, a sneak peek of what actually sells. The platform is going to tell you, give you this data. And eBay has made it so easy for us to actually find this data. There is a tab on your seller cockpit that if you click on it, you can go ahead to query any kind of system, be it a Lenovo system, a Dell PC or a Dell laptop, a Fujitsu laptop, doesn't matter what model it is, you are going to find information about this. And when you find something that says, the work that you now have to do is to go ahead and see how you can re-engineer where these people, which is your competitors, are actually getting these things from. Once again, if you stay long enough, digging through things, trying to ask yourself and trying to reach out, you are definitely going to, find these things. And when you find it, you want to go ahead and buy some of these things, because you are buying now from the place of, having a data that, look, this thing says, and because it has sold not once, not twice, but more than 20, 30 times in a given week or a given month. Definitely, if you are able to bring your item to the market and have, the things that the market wants, which is, laptops looking in very good condition, not filled with so many scratches, above all, good pricing and a very decent offer, you stand a chance, of selling your items. Exactly what I did. I didn't hesitate to go ahead, even though my offer at the time wasn't really complete, because I just had one or two pictures. And the video I actually did use for the offer wasn't the video I was supposed to use, because in case you are wondering what I mean by video, eBay now has a function where you can actually go ahead, record a very short video of the item you are selling, kind of show it to potential buyers, so that when people come to your shop, they now have the option of actually taking a look at the video that you've uploaded. Previously it was just that you had the option of uploading a product picture, but right now with the video function, things have become very, very easy. So when I set up this offer, it wasn't complete. The pictures are not complete. The video was that of another laptop, but it didn't stop me from actually putting my feet on the door quick enough. This offer was set up, I think, on the 3rd of January, because I also made a video about it. And I was saying, the earlier I can bring this stuff to the market, I will be able to, capture those people that are going to be coming, the early shoppers. This is not just all, this is just the early shoppers. Definitely before the end of this week, more of this item will be selling. Even more people are going to be taking a look and deciding on what items, to buy, because this is what it is. Every year, things are going to go broken. Someone's laptop is going to be broken. Someone's desktop piece is going to be broken somewhere. Someone's keyboard, someone's hard drive is going to be broken. So if you can set up a shop that captures all the potential things that can go wrong, within an organization, within someone's home office, you are definitely going to be in business. Of course, you want to have items that, when people finally come to your shop, they will have no choice but buying those items. Once you want to ensure the pricing is best, the description actually tells what he or she is going to expect, and you are also offering very good services. Nobody wants to buy a laptop and the laptop gets shipped out like after the 5th day, and then takes another 3 or 4 days for it to be delivered, in total making the laptop to arrive at the buyer's destination after 2 weeks. That would be a poor service. You see, for somebody to have taken a look at this laptop all the way from Finland and say, you know what, I want to go ahead and buy this laptop even though the seller is in Germany, that goes a long way to say a lot about what the buyer must have seen. Of course, the videos must have been a very major determinant for this person pulling, the trigger to click on the buy it now button, or even the product description, or even the general feel of the shop. When the person comes to the shop, he sees that this is a professional seller, has a banner, has links linking to other offers, have very good reviews, I think I'm going to go ahead and deal. See, this amount, 504 euros or 647 euros, is a lot of money, especially in this day and age. And when somebody goes ahead, to make this kind of investment, he or she expects only very good quality stuff. And for me to be able to, price this item at this, price point, I'm also very sure of what I'm sending out. I'm sure that this is a PC that won't disappoint. First of all, optically, very good. Technically, has been tested, has been proven to work. Little things like the battery life might not be at the very best in terms of competing with a new battery, but it is what it is. I want to imagine that when people come on here to want to buy used devices like laptops or anything that has a battery in it, they are also okay with the fact that the battery might not be able to hold up, as to if the item was new. But in any case, these are devices that still have more than 80% of battery life in them, which means nobody's going to be able to notice that these things are being used, because if you plug it on, the battery is going to charge up, going to hold up, will not be a nuisance to whoever is buying it. This is also something that you should also put into consideration. So when you've done all that, you are pretty much setting yourself for success. eBay, being the platform that does the connection between the buyer and the seller, is pretty much going to do its job, which is bringing these people your way. But then if you are not leveraging the power of social media, you are also doing something wrong. Unfortunately, I do not know where these buyers came from. Perhaps my YouTube channel, perhaps from me just simply posting my offers also on Instagram. But it is what it is. Of course, eBay is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting, which is trying to look for potential buyers of this laptop. But in your own little way, you also have to support the process. You have to be seen, posting these things on your Instagram story, on your Facebook page, on your YouTube channel, if you have one. If you don't have one, in this day and age, I want to tell you, you cannot really succeed in e-commerce if you are not also actively involved with posting your offers on social media. Gone are the days where you could just leave everything to the e-commerce platform, in this case eBay. Those days are gone. Now you have to support the process if you really want people to see your offer. Buyers now are seeing beyond just you creating the offer. They want to be sure that there is somebody, a human figure behind whatever they are trying to buy, not just like an AI created offer, an AI created image, an AI created description. People want to deal with people. They want to buy with people. They want to be able to talk to people. They want real people to answer their requests. And they want to feel a sense of the fact that a human has actually had a hand in this process. You're not going to set up an offer and just leave it there. Be active on social media, get to know your buyers, send them emails, get to relate with them, because you can never tell who a potential buyer is. It might be a major decision maker in a very big organization. It might be that person that has the power to say, you know what, we need 20 pieces of this laptop, we need 30 pieces of this laptop. That could just pretty much be a game changer for you. But ultimately, this is the time to attack. You want to keep attacking. You want to keep posting offers. If you have items sitting in your deck pile, of course, this is also the time to take a look at them, because you can never tell what item the people, coming back from holidays are going to be interested in. They could be interested in monitors. They could be interested in keyboard, mouse, headphones, tablets, laptops like this one. Desktop PCs, the list goes on and on and on. Have a positive, outlook. Of course, things might be starting a little bit, slowly. It is what it is. It has never changed. Year in, year out is pretty much the same. Beginning of the year is a little bit slow, and gradually, the momentum is going to increase. People are going to keep buying things, and before you know it, you're not going to have time anymore to do your fitness or to do your sporting activities. I'm just kidding. You're still going to be able to make out time for that. But what I'm saying in effect is that it is time to attack, keep pushing, keep trying to be better. Even if it's just 1% at whatever you do, if you have been making pictures a certain way and you realize that this way is not converting, change it. If you are selling a particular category and you realize that this doesn't seem to be working, don't be afraid to change, the way you make photographs. And if you are listing, with a particular template and you see that there's a room for improvement, go ahead and do the work. I understand that doing the work takes a lot of time. It means you have to take off your hand from just doom scrolling on TikTok or on Instagram. It is what it is. This is what you have signed up for. This is the reason why you hear people saying that reselling or flipping pieces for profit is not something that can be considered a get-rich-quick scheme. But if you have done all this, one thing is sure, you are ultimately going to succeed. And if you learn to put this process on rinse and repeat, you are ultimately going to be reaping the reward that comes for reselling. Doesn't matter what it is, IT hardwares, books, clothing. If you put this process on rinse and repeat, you are definitely going to be rewarded for this. I hope this video helps you. If it does, please do me a favor. Go to the like section, click on the like button, share the video if you can. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing. Until I see you again in the next one. Peace.